Hi there, welcome everybody to another ZoukCast episode. It's early in the morning for me on Sunday, so this is what the real love for Zouk is, right, Nymph?
Yes, yes, of course. It's also early for me, but it's okay. It's Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been that waking up to do something Zouk related is even more love for Zouk than waking up for work after dancing, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this week we have an episode that was suggested by our friend Anthony Lee from London, and
Hey!
he read a story in Facebook about these ladies that opened a school and now they're closing. And we have one of them here. She's Jean. How you doing?
Hi! Hi! Good afternoon to everyone in this part of the world, and good morning to you guys.
Yeah, we had a little bit of confusion because we had the time just tonight we had the time change for summertime in Europe. What I hate is because they don't need to change the time, you know. We should use 1 hour for the whole world, like a universal time, and these confusions would go away, you know. They don't have the sukas to make, and that's why they change. So, Jin,
Yes.
we almost everybody in the Zouk world could read on Facebook about your quitting on the dance thing. So,
Retirement.
retirement, yeah, okay. So, how's that? How come that you're retiring from dance?
Oh, I'm not retiring. Actually, I will still be teaching and doing classes, doing Zouk classes, Zouk events, Zouk socials. But it'll be under a new school, a new brand name, and a new location. The school has been operating for over 12 years, and we've been doing salsa and Zouk and uh, bachata and rueda. But myself and my partner, after 12 years, I think we want to explore some other avenues. So my partner, Wendy, she takes care of salsa, but she wants to do more fitness now.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, it's so if there's no um, salsa classes, I can't do Zouk classes 7 days a week. So it's quite difficult to to lease a studio, but only do a few classes a week. So I'm going to rent a studio place by the hour. So we are moving on with different focus on our business, our lives now. Yeah. So she's doing fitness. I'm still doing Zouk, but
Mm-hmm.
I will be also doing other things as well.
Nice.
So it's not. We're still gonna have Zouk in Singapore, of course, of
Okay.
course. And in fact, I'm bringing Bruno in August.
Nice.
So we already have that planned for August.
Nice. So let's go a little bit back in history,
Hmm.
because I read on your post that you opened your own school out of fear from one previous instructor that you both had. Let's go a little bit into that story. So uh, let's explain to us how you began dancing and why did you decide to open the school with your friend.
Um, well, I learned salsa in the States, Cuban salsa. When I came back here, I was trying to find a salsa school, and I joined this school, and the instructor is really, really scary, really, really fierce. But because of that, it was good for the ladies. But the problem is, this is 13 years, no, actually 2001, we had maybe one guy for every 5 girls. So that was a big problem.
It's a
Yeah.
lucky guy.
So not enough guys. One guy, 5 girls. It was terrible ratio.
It's
So what
it's
happened
the dream
was,
for the guys, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
yes, it was a nightmare for the girls. So I was very, I love salsa, but I got tired of waiting to be, to dance. And after a while, I thought, I'm going to learn how to dance as a leader. So I get twice as much fun. And, uh, it was just how it all started. And my partner was one of the girls who would help me to learn to lead. So in the class, I was learning both the leaders and followers at the same time. It was fun. So that's how we got started in dancing together a lot. So I was doing both at the same time for quite a while in salsa before I found Zouk. So when I found Zouk, it was only natural that we were going to continue. She would be the follower, I would be the leader. Yeah. But before we found Zouk, we started the school in 2004, and we found Zouk in 2008. So I had already been teaching as a leader for 4 years.
And
So
how are the students finding this thing about the two ladies teaching and one lady teaching the leaders? Did the guys feel right with that?
We never had a problem because of the culture of Singapore. In Singapore, we're pretty equal when it comes to genders. So there wasn't a feeling of, oh, you're a lady, so you can't teach us how to lead. We didn't have that problem at all. So people just accepted it. When we started teaching Zouk, which is much closer than salsa, I think some guys thought it was kind of hot, like in a lesbian hot way. So
Every guy will
that
feel that.
probably helped. Yeah. So no, we never had an issue. I think it's very common for people to think that it might be hard for a lady to be accepted as a leader, as teaching as a lead. But in Singapore, it's never been a problem, and maybe in other countries that might be an issue, but not for us. So,
Okay.
would it be an issue in Spain?
Maybe with the styling, because for example, I have the opposite example here. Like my teacher, Daniel, he's the most amazing lady dancing. Like he's the one of the best followers I know. So the styling of he's quite feminine, So when he's teaching as a leader, his styling is ladyish. So guys would like a more male reference in terms of styling, but they didn't complain about the leading. They complain about the styling side of things. But maybe that's the thing. You can teach properly how to lead, but the male styling maybe would be more tricky, right?
Yes, I don't teach styling in class, and actually, when I learn styling, I learn it as a leader. So I would say I'm more stylish as a leader than I am as a follower, because I've focused so much on that in Zouk. But like you say, because I'm not a man, I don't have a man's physique, and because I don't focus on lady styling, so although I'm a lady, I don't actually focus on lady styling. So in the end, I think I'm pretty androgynous. So not really a man, not really a woman. So what's happened in the scene is people will find people that they want to look to for styling. So I don't give them a specific style to pick up on. And because of that, when you visit our scene, you'll see that there are people who have so many styles because their teacher doesn't have one style. So they pick and choose whoever they like. And so it's really, really varied. You have a little Dardinio somewhere, a little Bruno somewhere, a little William somewhere. So everyone picks their own style. And I think that's kind of neat because I have not influenced them in style. So.
So Tell us a little bit about the story of Zouk in Singapore. You were the first ones doing Zouk there?
Yes, we were. We were at a salsa festival in Malaysia, and we saw a performance by Alison Sandi and his partner at the time, which was Pamela. And we thought it was the most amazing dance we'd ever seen. We were really blown away. It was so slow and precise and graceful. So in that festival, they had included kizomba and zouk, and it was really a really good way of introducing salsa dances to new dances. Of course, we couldn't dance it at night, but it was what really got us it started into Zouk. And after the festival was over, I invited Alison to spend about a week with us to teach us Zouk so that we could start Zouk in Singapore. So that's how it all got started. And after that, he would visit us quite often from Perth, and he would stay for a few weeks to hold classes and to teach us more. So when we started, we knew very little, but we kept learning and we got better, and he kept learning as well. He went back to Brazil, so he got better, we got better, and so the scene grew. And in 2010, we went to Brazil to learn even more. So it was important for us to keep learning because no one teaches Zouk here. So we are the leaders in the Zouk community. So we had to keep learning all the time. So we did a lot of private classes. The first time we went to Brazil Central, which was held in Brisbane in 2009, we were blown away by the number of styles because we only seen Ellison. So Zouk was Ellison. So you can imagine when we saw Alex Carvalho, Renata, like all the Zouk greats, and and Mafi, and we were amazed at how different Zouk can be for everyone, and that's what really opened our eyes. So yeah, so after that, we decided we must go to Brazil and actually learn from the source. And of course, since then we have done the same for our students. Every year we try to bring 2 or 4 instructors with different styles so that the students understand that Zouk can be so many beautiful things. It isn't just one style. So yeah, and there's just so much to learn all the time. So this year we're bringing Bruno. Last year we had Arthur and Raisa, and previous years we had Leo Becky, Renata, Alex Carvalho, Carlos Fernandez. So we've had a lot of people with different styles, and we try to do something every year for our students.
Yeah. So talking about this, about bringing foreign instructors to your students, how did you organize that? Do the students pay a special price for the class? It's included in the regular price. How do you manage to make it financially okay for you? Because usually when you bring some foreign instructor, you need everybody to attend, or you will lose money because of the plane tickets, the accommodation, and of course the salary of the teacher. So how did you organize that?
The first year, we were not sure we could cover our costs, so we only brought in 1 instructor. So the first person who came here was Kadu. We couldn't afford to bring Larissa, so that's how we reduced our costs for the first year. For the second year onwards, the community got a little bigger, so we started to bring in a couple. But I love the Brazilians. They're very relaxed, so they are okay with staying at my house. They're happy staying at my house. So that already takes care of one big expense, which is hotel. So they stay with me at my house. They're very relaxed about food, and it's having those 2 combinations that's made it very affordable. The third thing that allows us to bring them in is Brazil Central used to bring them to Brisbane, and then we would fly them from Brisbane to Singapore. So that didn't cost as much as flying them in from Europe or Brazil. So because of that, it made it very affordable for us. And this year we're also doing the same. So now that Larissa has Casa du Zouk, and she brings in the internationals, so this year we're bringing Bruno from Casa du Zouk. So, and Singapore is in a great place. A lot of the flights going from Australia or New Zealand to Europe or Brazil, they have to pass through Singapore. So we try and catch them along the way. That's the cheapest option.
For them to go off the plane and catch them, give a class, and then bring it back to the terminal, right?
Yeah, we try and kidnap them while they're in transit. So, yeah, so it's been great. If we had to fly them from Europe or Brazil, it wouldn't be possible. It's just too expensive. So we're very lucky that Australia is big in Zouk, and they always bring people in.
So here in Europe, what usually happens is when some organizer brings somebody from Brazil, and then other organizers want to share these artists, they pay like a finder's fee to the first one that paid the big plane ticket. That's also the thing there, or?
We've basically paid the organizers a fee, and we take care of their flights. So I guess that's the common way, right?
Yeah.
And we're fortunate that Vietnam and Indonesia are now, and of course Malaysia are becoming very interested in bringing internationals. So hopefully we can start to share with these neighboring countries and Bangkok as well. So there's been some sharing more recently, so that's going to really help the cost. The only problem is for Malaysia, they have a congress every year, but everyone here goes to Malaysia. So we can't share artists because the timeline is too close. So if they go to Malaysia, they won't come to the congress in Singapore, and vice versa. So sometimes it's not possible because of that. Financially, it's always better for us to share, but then because the market is so small here, we're essentially also sharing participants. So sometimes it doesn't work out. We can't share.
Yeah, I think that's the problem everywhere, because here in Europe, as we said sometimes on previous episodes, we see the same people, not only artists, but participants in every congress that we go. Also because Europe is so small, so we don't need to travel too far to go to another congress. But how big is now the scene, not only in Singapore, but in the whole Asia area?
I think the best, let me see, the best guide, I guess, to the numbers would be the ZoukC Congress in Malaysia. I think they get about maybe 100 to 200 people, and that's a lot of people from all over, but it includes Australia. No one, for Singapore, we don't get a lot of internationals coming to our event because the Singapore currency is very, very strong. So for all of our neighboring countries, it's too expensive to be here for a congress. So usually we get
cheaper for you to go, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I don't know how many people dance in Vietnam or Indonesia or Malaysia because we don't see them in our event in Singapore. So, but Malaysia is more affordable. So I think we had quite a lot of people over there. I noticed. So more than 100 for sure. And a lot of us go to Malaysia as well. The Singapore scene probably is about 30 to 40 strong. But it fluctuates all the time. It's been difficult to keep it growing. So it's just, the Zouk is a very challenging dance.
Yeah, that's happening in every part of the world. Like it's difficult to maintain the students there because there are so many other easier options where they can go and still have a good time. So how do you approach that? How do you try to keep them interested into Zouk?
I've tried to change a lot of things over the last 8 years that we've been teaching Zouk.
Mhm.
I think when we started, we had a lot of people because anything that's new,
Yeah.
people will be excited to try, right? But I think our syllabus was too difficult, and people started to drop off because they were doing bonecas in their second month, or just moves that were too difficult, head movements in the second month of their education.
Mm.
And I think a lot of people got scared. So, but we didn't know any better, and we also didn't know that much. So it's not like we could teach other things. We didn't know enough to teach. Uh, so more recently, I've totally changed the syllabus, and now the students do not do any tilted movements or head movements for 5 months at least,
That's good.
and then they have to pass a test. If they pass a test, then they can continue to the higher levels. And in the higher levels, then they start to learn head movements. And this is something I uh, did after I spoke with a few instructors and
Mhm.
asked them, well, when did they teach this and when did they teach that? And some of them said 6 months or only after a year.
Yeah.
So that was really surprising to me. But I think by changing that, it's actually brought a lot of interesting moves where it's fun, but people stay vertical, so it's not so challenging. And we have more time to work on their foundation before we put in head movements.
Mhm.
And honestly, head movements are something you do when your foundation is good because you're just adding your head but to the same steps. So if their foundation is not good, there's absolutely no point doing head movements. So I've seen that the people who have started, they stay now. The classes are not big, but they stay. And that's,
Yeah.
I think, really important. And we have people who have stayed with us for 6 years, 8 years, and that they've really, they're so addicted to Zouk, and there's so much to learn and keep learning. And because I always change my syllabus, they always come back for class. It's free for them. So that helps to keep them interested. And when people have classes that they can go to, they stay interested and they stay in the scene. But once they stop going to class, then they start to drop out.
Yeah.
So I try to keep them interested, always have new exercises, new drills, new concepts, and new ideas, which I get when I take private classes. So I always take private classes, and then I put the new ideas in my class, and they feel that they're always learning something new, even though the syllabus might be the same, but
Mhm.
yet they're learning something different, or they're hearing it in a different way, they understand it in a different way. So that's helped a lot. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So,
tough to grow it, but so the people really stay when they love it.
yeah, but when you did the change, I don't know if Nymph had the same problem that I had, but for example, I just learned from the beginning that I don't teach head movements until 6, 8 months in the education of the student. But you know that other teachers they do. They teach sooner. So the students say, "Oh, why the students of this guy are making the head movements and I am not?" Because the thing I like the most is the head movement and blah blah blah. So you have to fight with them a little bit. Do that happen to you also, Nymph?
Yeah, it happens. It happens. I
Yeah.
think it
So
happens
you have to
everywhere.
fight with them, right?
Yeah,
To tell them no, head movement should wait until you're prepared.
yeah. Because
But then you
first
have
thing,
the opposite thing. Like the students from the other guy look to your students when they are doing head movement and they say, "Oh, they do head movement much better than we do." Why? Why? You know?
yeah. But then the thing is, the first thing they recognized in Zouk is when a lady came to me like, "Oh, Zouk is so like moving with the head, etc." And I'm like, "Okay, but you have to wait with this after you know this proper basic, you know." And then they are like, "But I would like to learn this fast, how to do this." Those kind of things that remind them always when they see Zouk, it's always head movement. It's funny.
So did you have that same reaction when you changed the syllabus?
I teach head movement not so often. Also like backbending, not so much. But when I teach them, it's like after 6, 8 months, and then they have more of like this proper foundation, a
Yeah.
stable core, basic, and then they can do the head movement more in balance also.
So,
So and
Jim,
also
did they protest to you when you change the way of teaching?
no.
No. Oh, sorry. What was it?
No, yeah, I was asking Jim. I was asking Jim.
Okay.
No, people are really scared of head movement, actually. So the students who tried it were very happy with the change. The students who had never tried it were too busy getting things like lateral right. We The way my syllabus is structured is I made a conscious change to in the way we market the dance. Salsa is always marketed as a fun dance, happy dance. Good, everyone can try it, and same for kizomba. It's like, oh, it's easy, everyone can do it. But I market Zouk differently. When they come to class, I tell them how hard Zouk is and how much they have to work, but how much they're going to love it when they see the progress. So even from the first class, we focus a lot on technique. So things like being on your toes, controlling your balance, moving slowly, using your core, having the right posture. So honestly, they're too busy trying to get these things right to even want to do head movements because I think they can only imagine how hard it is to do head movements when they can't even walk properly, when they can't even push properly. And so we do a lot of exercises that work on their weight, the control of their own weight, and the control of someone else's body weight, and we focus on always balancing, holding your own, so no one needs to drag you through the dance or you don't throw anybody around. So the classes are very heavily based on technique, and we try to do these movement exercises to build their strength, their legs, their ankles, their core. So no, nobody wants to do hip movements. They're too busy.
Okay, so now we are running out of time. So I want to talk about the future there, the future of Zouk in Singapore, because you're saying that you will continue teaching, but you're separating from your old partner. So who will you teach with? Do you have somebody that will help you, or would you teach alone? How will you continue?
I've been teaching alone for 2 years already, so
Okay.
no change. For my students, I'm their mother and their father, so they're used to that. The great thing about the classes, the students, is they get to come back for free. So I always get people returning for class. So I use them when I need to show something. Of course, when they make mistakes, then it becomes a negative example. So it's a learning example at the same time. But I have a lot of wonderful students who come back to help to learn, but also I can use them as an assistant. So I like to teach by myself, also because I'm always changing something in the class. I think when I see someone having an issue, sometimes I create a new exercise, or and it's very random. So it's sometimes easier just to teach by myself. So I know that they still need to see a proper man and a proper woman doing leading and following, and that's where the internationals come in. So I make sure I bring in internationals so they can really see the style of the guy or the lady. So for me, I focus on technique,
Yeah.
but I must supplement it with these artists. So that's my plan. So honestly, not much change for the Zouk scene. Just gonna be in a new studio and a new name.
Okay, so that's a relief because when we read the story on Facebook, it seemed like Zouk in Singapore was finished. So we were worried about that, and it's really good to hear that it will continue going and you will continue teaching. Because
Yeah.
I know that you are doing a great job because of the comments of the international instructors that we could read
Oh, cool.
and we had. So I'm glad that it will continue to be in the
It
same.
has to.
Yeah.
It has to. I cannot abandon my Zouk babies. They're still babies. So it's I will take care of them for as long as I can, as long as they take care of me as well.
So Nymph, any extra questions that we have?
Yeah, I think two questions. What is this cat doing in your logo?
When I first started remixing, I didn't want people to know whether what my gender was. I didn't think it was relevant, but I do think there's a stereotype, of course. You know, guys do harder songs and ladies do softer songs. And my first song was actually a hard song, right? Love the Way You Lie is a hard song. So I wanted to put a cat on so there wouldn't be any preconceptions about me, my music. So that's why. But of course, people know what I look like now.
Okay, so now we both look like cats.
Very,
Just to
very
make you
cute.
more comfortable, you know, like.
Yeah. And the second question, what happens with DJ Yen?
Now,
Yeah.
you mean? What's have been happening? DJ Yen is semi-retired because there's so many good DJs out there with so many good songs, like DJ Libre, who just released some really awesome songs. So DJ Yen doesn't need to do any work anymore.
But
But I just I'm gonna release a mashup. I just finished a mashup yesterday. So
yeah.
I'm gonna release it. So I think I will meet a yearly quota, just one song a year.
Okay, nice.
And DJ Nymph, of course, is doing good music. So DJ Yen can sit back and relax.
But still different, like your songs, your tracks, or Lloyd's, it's still different, and a lot of people used to like your songs too. You should-
One a year. One a year.
One a year. Oh my God. But now you are getting retired from the Zouk classes. You can have more time to spend with remixes. So
That's true. That's true. Well, I'm going to release my new hit. Not new hit. My new track.
Yeah, I would.
Probably today or tomorrow.
okay.
So that should last you for 1 year.
Okay.
So next year on ZoukCast you're gonna release a new track.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, good.
Okay, guys. So it was really nice to talk to you, Jin, and we had a
Likewise.
good time knowing more about the Singapore scene. And thank you for being here, and we enjoyed a lot.
Well, thanks Antonio and Nip and everyone at the ZoukCast team, Sandra and Zena. Thanks to Anthony for putting my name up, and I really hope all of you can visit Singapore at some point. Come and visit us, Zoukers, at our new location, and we'd love to have you over. So, Singapore's on the way to Australia and New Zealand, so drop by if you can.
You know,
And yeah,
just last night, my wife and me, we were watching The Lord of the Rings again because she's such a freak about the Lord of the Rings. And she said, like, do you know that you can visit the Hobbit holes in New Zealand? And I was like, okay, so we have to travel to New Zealand now. And so maybe when we go to see Hobbiton, we can go to Singapore.
you should take Emirates. They always stop over in Singapore. And the Singapore Zoukers are a very cozy, friendly crowd, and they're very open to all types of music. So everyone is welcome to join us over here. Yeah, just come and visit. It's a nice city.
Nice. Okay, so thank you again, Jim, for being here, and see you somewhere around the Zouk world.
Yes, hopefully Europe soon.
Okay. Nymph,
Thanks so much, guys.
Nymph, thanks to you also for being here, co-hosting with me every week. And next week we have a special episode too, because every episode is special for us, and it's about tango Zouk. right?
Studies.
So, Studies and Joanna
Yeah.
from Greece. And they will talk about this fusion that they had going on.
Oh, the cat.
It's a
Where's
huge
the real DJ?
Oh my God, it's a big cat.
Pretty big.
Yeah.
He says hi.
So, the cat is saying bye.
Alright. Bye,
Okay,
guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you for everything, and see you next week. Just a quick reminder: we have this Patreon.com URL where you can go and collaborate with us if you want us to improve a little bit the show with new connections, faster cameras, faster not, but better microphones. And also, just a reminder that we have this summer weekend going on in July from the 21st to the 25th, and you're all invited to join. So that's all for today, and see you next Wednesday
Yeah.
with the Tango Zouk episode. I hope you enjoyed, and until next Wednesday. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you.